Griffith here with Kyle Austin from Spartans Stadium. Early Sunday morning, a game that got a lot more interesting than any of us thought. Kyle, it's 27-3 in the third quarter, and I start to write my game story about a victory. And next thing I look up, we got a ball game.
Yeah, you might have gone to sleep, and if you did and you're waking up, we have some news for you. It got very close at the end. Basically, what happened, Mark Antonio admitted after the game that he got pretty conservative with his play calling, went to a lot of runs. And Nebraska was able to kind of storm back. They got a punt return for a touchdown, got a couple other touchdowns off some short fields, and made it really interesting at the end. Kind of raised some questions about, this team was good, its defense played well overall, but especially after Oregon, there's still questions about closing out games. They did close it out in the end, but they shouldn't look good doing it.
No, I agree. I think there's big questions about this team's leadership and maturity, because that's what it's really all about. I mean, it was Trey Waynes with the interception at the Michigan State 17-yard line with 30 seconds left to seal a victory that really should have been a blowout, and bad timing for a close game. There's going to be a huge shakeup in the polls, Kyle. We saw a lot of upsets, a lot of top teams playing one another. Michigan State had an opportunity to really make a statement, and I think that might have cost them 2 or 3 spots in the polls today.
Yeah, it might have. And it's a shame because it overshadowed. If it wasn't for that, we'd be talking about a great defensive effort.
It was.
And it really still was, because the one late touchdown they got was not on the defense. That was on a punt return. But they really shut down Amir Abdullah tonight. Really suffocating run like we haven't seen them do against Amir Abdullah these last couple of years.
Well, nobody's done it against Amir Abdullah.
Yeah.
He came into the night leading the country with 833 yards, I think 166 yards per game. And tonight he goes for 45 yards on 24 carries. So objective number one for Michigan State was stop the run. They did that. After Bo Pelini had said after last year's game, we've run on him before, we'll run on him again. Well, Pat Narduzzi obviously had a year to chew on that, because Michigan State was just alignment and assignment sound against that run tonight.
Yeah, and it was kind of back to the status quo we talked a little bit before about. The defense was okay through the first 4 games, but the offense had really been carrying the way. Today we saw things back to where we were used to. The offense wasn't bad, it wasn't good, it was probably somewhere in the middle. Mark Antonio was definitely not pleased in his comments.
No.
But it was really the defense leading the way, which I think Spartan fans are used to.
But in all fairness, Coach D'Antonio's got to realize if he's going to turn to them and say, let's run the ball and let's get conservative, he's asking them to play with one hand tied behind their back.
Yeah.
Kyle, I thought it was a mistake at Oregon. They got conservative. We did the numbers. On 10 first down plays, they ran the ball 8 times on first down in the second half. Against Oregon, they pretty much went in a shell, and the Ducks were good enough to blow by them and run away. I think the only difference is Oregon wasn't quite good enough. So, if there's a lesson to be learned, yes, from the players, but I think to the coaches as well. When you've got Connor Cook, I don't think you can take your foot off the gas. He's a guy that can really put games out of touch quickly if you turn Connor loose.
Well, it looked like a pretty simple, straightforward win through 3.5 quarters. I think now we have quite a few questions after the game that we're going to be addressing in the next couple of weeks. But,
even if maybe Purdue can't. Indiana might, though.
Yeah.
But who knows? At Purdue, last year, believe it or not, Michigan State's 2 touchdowns. One was a defensive touchdown. The other one was Tony Lippett throwing a pass. So Connor Cook still looking for his first touchdown pass against Purdue.
Well, we'll have plenty more from tonight's game, including some interesting Mark Antonio comments about the crowd, I thought, afterwards. So check for that. We're at mlive.com/Spartans. Thanks for joining us.